am Lady Charmaine, and my guest today emerged on the scene with a song that had everybody wanting to live the glamorous life. Known for being a mean percussionist and a generous philanthropist with a foundation that puts instruments in kids' hands. She's here today to talk about our TV One Unsung episode, and I want you to help me welcome singer, songwriter, composer, producer, arranger, and performer Sheila E, better known as Sheila E, to the show. How you doing, Sheila?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good, and thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now, you have this great episode because I love TV One's Unsung. I watch all the episodes. Were you surprised when you got the call for TV One?
Yeah, pretty much, because I wasn't sure what unsung really meant. I thought unsung would be like, okay, this is the end of my career. I'm like, are you kidding? This is the beginning. I didn't know. But then I looked at some of the episodes. I'm like, oh my God, this is, it's a great show. So I was very, very happy, and to be able to do a lot of this because it also involves my family as well.
Because I love it, because I know a lot of times people think that that's what unsung means, but we learn so much more about the individual. And I think it helps us also to know that their life and career is still actually going on. It's not over, it's continuing. And so that's one thing I love about this show. Now, your father, Pete Escovedo, he is a well-known Latin jazz legend in the music industry. What influence did his life and musical career have on yours?
Well, his life has been definitely, I've learned everything that I know from my parents, and it's just been a blessing to be able to be in a household growing up where my dad is a musician, and to be able to hear him play and practice every day. And then there were people that would come over and jam at the house on the weekends or whatever. There was just constant music. So to me, it was a continuous party that actually has not stopped. It's there's always something going on at the house, and he's just influenced me in many different ways, and not just musically, but taught me, definitely the ropes about the industry and what to do and what not to do, and how to treat people, and to be early and respectful and know your craft, so that when you get ready to go into a situation, you go in with confidence because you've learned everything that you need to know. And when you go in there, you don't have to think about it. You're just going to play from your heart. And that was the key, play from your heart and just enjoy it.
I think that was one of the best tips he gave you, because if anyone has ever seen you play percussions or drums, you play from your heart.
I do.
And not knowing that came from your father. Now, kind of give us a glimpse of a day in the life in the Escovedo household, especially with all this music. And you guys have some rich history and great friends like Tito Puente. Tell us about just a day in the life in the household. Y'all could be a reality show in the Escovedo household.
Actually, we are getting ready to do a reality show finally. So it will be. It's coming together, and it's going to be great. And it is about the music business. It is about what we do every single day. I'm running a record company now, so I started Stiletto Flats Music. And then my brother has the media part of it, and we're doing shooting videos, and my nephews are rapping. My dad is also an artist, he was commissioned to do a bunch of paintings, 25, 30 paintings for this, just one floor of this hotel. So he's an artist. Everybody in the family is an artist. And then my dad used to have the clubs in the Bay Area, of course, so we're trying to get another club here in L.A. So my other brother's running it, Juan, and my sister, and that's basically what the reality show is about. And a life in one day, if you spent just a day with us, you would just think, well, like, are you serious? This happens every single day. It's straight up comedy. It's really funny. Things that go on. And my mom is just, moms and pops are like Lucy and Ricky Ricardo, literally. They're like living color, Ricky and Lucy. And it's just amazing. Actually having people coming over all the time, even when we were growing up, of course, Tito Puente. And when we lived in, earlier on, when the Whispers were very, very popular back then, they used to come in between their tours and babysit me, and Lou Rawls would come over, and we had all kind of people at our house all the time. A lot of the famous Latin jazz artists as well, and Mongo Santa Maria, and like I said, Tito Puente, him and my dad have been friends since they were 15. So there's just constant jam sessions all the time at the house.
Wow. Well, I can't wait to see the reality show. Now, Sheila, are you Puerto Rican? What is your nationality?
No, my dad is Mexican and Cherokee Indian, and my mom is Creole from New Orleans.
Okay, because you have a mix going. I'm like, okay, I know her last name is Escovedo, but is there something else going on in it? Okay.
Well, no, my dad is Mexican.
Okay. Now, you growing up at 17, when I was reading your bio, I mean, you perform with great artists like Babyface, Natalie Cole, George Duke, of course, Prince, Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, and the list just goes on for you. What was it like for you as a teenager to work with these great artists?
I'm sorry, what was the last part of your question?
I said, what was it like for you as a teenager to work with these great artists?
It was pretty amazing. The thing is we had so many great people showing up at our house and jamming, and Carlos Santana would come by, and, you know, my dad was in Santana in the 70s as well, that I was used to kind of being around a lot of, you know, celebrities in a way. But then when I realized at 15 that this is what I was going to do, I was going to go out on tour and start playing, I was really excited, and, you know, started going out with my dad, and then with George Duke and Billy Cobham first, and then, you know, Herbie Hancock, and then from there to Come Function, Marvin Gaye, Lionel Richie. It just went on, and every time I played with someone else would come, or, you know, we were doing the cool jazz festivals back then, that's what they were called. So we'd be on the same stage with Ashford and Simpson, LTD, George Benson. I mean, the list went on, and this is how I met all these people, and then I got to perform with a lot of them because they would call and say, hey, I'd love for you to come and play with me, you know, if you have the time or whatever, or come and record on the record. So I was excited to just work all the time. I was so blessed to be able to just go from one gig to the other.
Wow, that's great, Sheila. If you're just tuning in, we're talking to Sheila E. We're talking about our TV One Unsung episode, the story of Sheila E. Now, Sheila, although you were a musician, did you ever see yourself as a solo artist?
Not really. And sometimes I still don't. I like to be a solo artist at times, but I also like to be in the background and enjoy behind the scenes. I like producing. I like putting things together, you know, and putting projects together for other people, like Beyonce, and putting bands together, or, you know, for Prince doing his stuff. I mean, I like the behind the scenes, so I don't always have to be in the front. I enjoy it when I do it, of course. I mean, I'm a big ham, you know, we're and especially with the family, we're all trying to go, who's going to play this solo? Who's going to play that solo? But I enjoy being in the front, but I never really thought that I was going to be a solo artist. I wanted to do something, but never really thought that was going to happen. I really didn't know I was even going to be a musician, because at the time in my teens, I was training to be in the Olympics. I was running track and breaking records, and I thought that's what I was going to do, was be in the Olympics.
Now, how night and day is that?
I know. Oh, I think, yeah, I know. I know. Okay. Well, my mom, you know why? Because my mom is very athletic, so her whole family in the Bay Area, some of them became pro ballers, or, you know, bowling, basketball, baseball. I mean, they did everything. So we grew up in a very athletic sports family, you know, on top of the music. So I have both sides, my mom and my dad. And my mom, you know, right now she's 74, and she'll say, come on, let's go race down the street. I bet you I'll beat you. And I'm like, Mom, for real? You know how old you are? And she just laughs, you know, like, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to beat you, you know. So it's like that, very competitive and a lot of fun.
So is that how you're able to keep your slim physique? Because you still look great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, trying to keep up with my parents, I think. They wear me out. It's hard to hang with them all day.
And speaking of music, you were the first female band leader with Magic Johnson with his nightly variety show. What was that experience like for you to be the first female band leader on television?
It was pretty amazing, because I think that was 95, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And I just couldn't believe at that time when they told me that I was the first female to be a musical director for late night television. I'm like, are you serious? I mean, it was amazing to me, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing the show. You know, I wish it would have lasted longer. I had a lot of fun, but what an experience it was. You know, and to be able to hang out with Magic, are you kidding? I love basketball, like I said, sports. I mean, that was pretty amazing to just hang out with him. Great guy.
Now, Sheila, I read you have a ministry, an awesome ministry, and I was reading about you, and you were the musical director for Sisters in the Spirit with Yolanda Adams, Martha Munizzi, Kelly Price, and Juanita Bynum. What was it like being on the road with these anointed women of God?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that right there, whew, that was amazing. What a wonderful and great experience that was. First of all, when they asked me to do it, I wasn't sure if I could, because I know the caliber of women that were coming in there, I was thinking, wow, can I really put this together and make this work for them? You know, and I just said, you know what, I wouldn't have been called if I wasn't able to do it, and I know that that was something that God wanted me to do as well, because I had never done anything like that, another first. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. Amazing time. It was almost like having church on stage every single night. And, I mean, fantastic singers. The band was amazing. And just to be able, you know, Yolanda Adams, forget about it. I mean, all of them. Kelly Price, every time someone came out, Martha Munizzi, you know, all of them, every time they came out, it was like, oh, my God, you know, this is, I mean, it was hard for me to keep it together because I'd cry in between the songs, and I had to pull myself together because I'm trying to direct everybody. It just got emotional spiritually because you're just going, man, this is just so amazing. You know, people were being touched by this. It was beautiful.
And I want to talk about your ministry. A lot of people may not know that you have a wonderful ministry. Even on your website, you have a place where people can also do prayer requests. Tell us about your ministry.
Well, basically, I just go out, you know, and guest speak at some of the churches as well as play a little bit, music ministry as well. And I've gone on, we have a worship alliance group that we've gone to Korea and went over there and prayed for people. And what I did was on my website, you could go on, and if you need prayer for anything, you know, you can just sign up and just go ahead and give us the information, and it comes directly to me, and I pray for you. We have a couple of other people in the office as well praying for people that need prayer. And it's just been amazing because people, you know, it's almost like, I hate to bother you, you know, Sheila, but I would love prayer. No one is bothering me. That's why I put it on there. I will always have time to pray for someone because we all need prayer. You know, I need people praying for me, you know, so it's definitely something that is near and dear to my heart. And God has been so good to me, and it's like, you know, again, I have to help others. I mean, I need help. We need each other, and we need each other to encourage each other and lift each other up.
That is really a blessing. When did your transition in the Lord, you probably were always a Christian, but when did your transition in the Lord really come to be full swing, where you would put it on your website for just the world to know?
Well, I was actually raised Catholic, and then I didn't become a Christian until later on in my 20s. I mean, I gave my heart to the Lord when I was 18, but later on in my 20s, you know, I walked, you know, a little bit, but I didn't want to be a Christian because I saw a lot of Christian people doing things, and I thought, well, why would I want to be a Christian? So, but then, you know, God turned my life around. It came at the right moment in the 90s, and rededicated my heart to the Lord. And at that time, I was just on fire for God, and I just said, you know, I need to, you know, reach out to people, and I need to apologize to people and pray for them and thank them, and, you know, say I'm sorry for anybody that I did any harm. And you know, I'm still apologizing for things that I have said and done for people, to people. And the way that I used to be, very demanding in a way where I would tell people instead of asking and things like that. So I had to change the way that I spoke, you know, and when I got my website, I just said, you know, I want to help people. I want to be able to, you know, I want to do more in the ministry on my page as well. We're revamping the website, so there'll be more of that. But, you know, I just thought, what a way to help people. I mean, I would love to pray for people, and let me just put that on there. And the response has been amazing. I mean, you know, we used to get way more prayer than we get now, but we used to get so much requests for prayer for everything and anything. It doesn't matter what it is. We would pray for them.
What a humble spirit for people to say, you know, I went back, I was demanding, especially people in the industry such as yourself, to go back and you could see how you were, and then allow God just to humble your heart to go back and apologize. And that light is going to bring somebody else to the Lord to say, wow, Sheila came back and apologized. That had to be the Lord.
You know what? Because you have to say you're sorry. You have to learn how to say you're sorry. You have to learn how to say thank you, and you have to learn forgiveness. That's the only way you're going to be able to grow. If you keep these things that, you know, that people have done to you, and you're mad at them and you're angry, you're going to walk in anger. You're going to walk around with you know, bitterness, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to walk in that way. I want to be someone who's forgiving and someone who walks in peace. You know, it's a daily walk, and absolutely, you know, every single day it's kind of like you have to let those things die, you know, and start anew every single day, because throughout the day, within minutes or hours, so much that could happen, and you just never know, and tomorrow's not promised. So, you know, I don't want to wake up with bitterness. I want to wake up with a sweet heart.
And that's so sweet. That was good. Now, I know you're going to have to go, but I wanted to talk about, I don't want to leave without talking about your foundation, Elevate Hope Foundation. It is so beautiful. I read about what you did. You guys donated $11,000 and what you're doing for children. Can you talk about that real quick?
Yeah, my manager and I, Lynn Mabry, started Elevate Hope around 12, 13 years ago, and we wanted to give back to the community because first of all, my dad would take us kids to facilities when we were growing up anyway, because he ended up in an orphanage for a couple of years. He was left there and also left in Mexico for a couple of years with his grandmother. So he just always said, people are worse off than we are. We were on welfare, and we didn't know that we were poor. They didn't treat us that way, So he said, let's just go to facilities and play, put our percussion in the car, and let's just go play and lift somebody up. So that's what we would do. And with my manager and I, when she first started managing me, we would go to perform in different cities, and every night I would try to raise money, raffle off something, raffle off my drums, my snare, the congas, anything. It's like, then I started giving away so much stuff that I couldn't keep up with the demand, and I'd end up having no gear, and it's like I'd have to go get some more gear. So we thought, let's just start this, professionally, and let's give back. So every time we did a show in that city, we would raise money and give it to a facility there, definitely in that city, to give them money for, whatever that they needed for the kids. And it's been an ongoing passion that we've had. We had similar instances happen to both of us, and we ended up finding out, again, we're not the only ones. And that being said, probably 6 to 8 out of 10 people have been abused, molested, raped, spiritually abused, physically abused. It's just been amazing. So to be able to give back like that, we also but we also realized that music was so healing for us, and that it was a part of our therapy, that we wanted to give these kids the opportunity as well. So in foster care, what we did was raise money for these kids, and we use music and artist therapy to help the kids and promote, give them confidence, and just give them some kind of stability. And music is an outlet for them. And the people and the kids that we have been able to reach has been totally amazing. They have told us that we've actually saved their lives. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah, because I heard your testimony before. I heard you tell your testimony, and it's amazing how God really brought you up out of that, and now you're able to relate and be a blessing to other people. Sheila, are you on Facebook or Twitter?
Yes, I am.
If somebody wanted to follow you, how can they do that? Is this under Sheila E?
Twitter is Sheila E. Drummer, and Facebook, I think, is Sheila E. Escovedo.
Okay, so do you talk to people on Facebook and Twitter?
I tweet a lot, and Facebook I'll post things, and I'll do as much as I can, but man, it's time consuming.
Yes, isn't it?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, I do what I can, but it's like I can't. I try to do a little bit every day, and some days I can do more than others, but yeah, it's challenging to try to keep up. But people like to share, and I love reading their comments. I really do try to make sure that I read everyone's comments, especially when I post something, and you get like 50 comments. You get, there's 300 people that like something that you said, and you want to say thank you.
That is really good. Well, Sheila, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And I want to remind everyone to make sure they watch TV One Unsung, the story of Sheila E., airing February the 27th. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be great. And again, Sheila, thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye-bye.